Yes, my Straight Talk family, whenever you hear that theme song, you know it's time for another edition of Straight Talk, and time for me to say greetings to the entire world, because we are on the World Wide Web and we reach and communicate with you all over the globe. And here's what we come from: the Twin Island Federation of St. Kitts and Nevis, two beautiful islands and one lovely paradise. So we say good night, St. Kitts and Nevis. We say good night to the entire Caribbean. We do reach and communicate with you all the way down south, on the South American mainland, Guyana, yes, Venezuela, and of course Trinidad and Tobago. They are in the house tonight, as all the time, but they do have a special guest representing Trinbago tonight. How is Barbados, St. Lucia, St. Vincent and the Grenadines, Grenada, Dominica, Martinique et Guadeloupe, bonsoir, bonne nuit, Antigua and Barbuda, Montserrat. And we go west to St. Eustatia, Saba, St. Bartholomew, St. Martin, Anguilla, and the BVI, that's Anegada, Virgin Gorda, Totola. How is the USVI, St. Croix, St. Thomas, and St. John? What about Puerto Rico? And of course, we are, as I said, all over the globe. And our Kittitian and Nevisian diaspora, we can say good night, we can say good morning, and we will say good afternoon as well, because one of such greetings will be applicable to some set of you, maybe in Asia, Africa, Europe, and there are a whole lot of you all over North America. And we do have first-timers as well, and we welcome our first-timers, and we thank those who continue to share the link. Whenever you do, we get first-timers. And for the first-timers, just to inform you that Straight Talk is a public service program that facilitates and promotes free, underline free expression on all issues of national interest, be they legal, be they environmental, be they technological, social, economic, and or political issues. On Straight Talk, we do have a forum to express yourselves freely. On this program, we try to raise the level of national, regional, and international discourse. We try to raise the level of national, regional, and international consciousness by alerting all our people to their rights, to their responsibilities, and certainly to their obligations. My name is Ian Patches Liebert. I thank Almighty God always for blessing me with the opportunity to join you in conversation, my Straight Talk family, on yet another occasion. And as your host, I'll always pledge to remain an untiring advocate of truthfulness, as I'm always reminded by that favorite hymn of mine, written by Thomas Jackson and Franz Joseph Haydn. An excerpt goes something like this: we are called to be God's prophets, speaking for the truth and the right, standing firm for godly justice, bringing all those evil things to light. So let's seek the courage needed, our high calling to fulfill, that we may all know, or we all may know, the blessing of the doing of God's will. So my Straight Talk family, hear this, and for this first timers in particular, absolutely nothing is watered down on this program. We never try to make it more interesting, neither by omission or by exaggeration. Straight Talk is not about sensationalism. We're not about creating excitement, especially at the expense of accuracy, because we lead on the facts, as it is my bounden duty to present what I call the unvarnished truth, the plain truth, especially when it comes to governance, integrity, accountability in St. Kitts Nevis or wherever you are on this globe, because we are joined together. The people across our federation, people across the Caribbean, and people in the diaspora all around the world. And some we know, some we have met. Some we may never know. Some we may never meet physically, that is. But hear this. We are a different people, so we entertain what I call a diversity of views. And we will agree with the positions of truth, my straight dog family. And some will disagree. But here's what. I will be saddened if ever we start to become disagreeable. So let's thank Almighty God nonetheless for helping us to understand, how good and how pleasant it is for brethren to dwell together in unity. Let us therefore hope and pray for the day when we will all sing his praise together. So welcome again, my people, and thanks for those who continue to share the link. As you bring first-timers, please continue to do so. And I always want to remind you that Straight Talk is a participative program. By that I mean, we include your calls, we include your emails, and those who are minded to call, the numbers are on your screens. Those who like what I call the cloak of anonymity, the email address is also on your screen. We give you access via our email platform. Some of you have access to Alexa, and if you do, just say, Alexa, play Massive Vibes Radio, and we thank the boss for giving us access at a nominal cost, and we are grateful for that. We are also grateful for some who have made donations. We say a big thank you, and I can reassure you that no matter what your donation, it goes a long way, and it helps us to continue this important service, a public service. And others may wish to donate. There's a code on your screen. Just scan it. Very simple process, my Straight Talk family. So thank you again for your support and for helping us to keep the dialogue alive. I will never hear the end of it if I do not recognize my Straight Talk Junior Brigade. That's an obligation I have, I must fulfill. I must hail young Dwayne, Tristan, Jasmine, Shama, Kevin, young Rue, Jamal, Travis Travon, Neymar, my grandson, and Soraya. How about Elizabeth? These are all my young brigade. Believe it or not, they stay in tune. Those who meet me and call me Mr. Straight Talk, ask your mom if I can call your name, or ask your dad. I just cannot call your names, recognize you. You may be there viewing us, but I need parental consent. And that special lady in St. Louis, good night to you. Tonight we are going to forego our observations in review, because we have, like I said, two very important guests. And I know that observations in review is a very integral part of our program. When we reflect on issues we have raised, we provide clarification, we provide answers to your questions, and of course, it's all about the learning process. But we want to give our guests maximum time tonight, because we are discussing, like I said, a very important issue. And we have titled, my caption tonight is, why, my Straight Dog family? Hear me, why? Only 2 model homes completed. And we have the head honcho, if I can call him that, who is with us, and he's also with his council. And we want to say welcome to Azad Gums, and we want to say welcome as well to Brian Singh, and say good night to these 2 gentlemen and my Straight Dog family. We trust that we will have an intelligible discussion tonight, where each one would be able to recognize for us. I'm here trying to get things sorted out. Bear me out, my Straight Dog family. But we welcome, like I said, Council Azad Gums, and he's no stranger to us here in the Federation, and perhaps even across the globe. Good night, Azad. Are you
Good
there?
evening, Patches. Yes, I am. Can you hear me?
Yes, I hear you loud and clear. And Brian, we also say,
Good night, Patches. Good night. It's a pleasure to be here.
okay, we see if I get you all up at the same time. Forgive me, what am I doing here? Yes. So my good gentlemen on our screens. I am not getting you here. I'm getting you, Brian. But again, let me say a very pleasant night to all of you, my people. And again, we say greetings to our guests. And yes, here they are. That's Azad Gums and Brian Singh. And I want, for full disclosure, to say tonight that I met Mr. Singh, Brian Singh. Is it okay to say Brian Singh?
Brian. Brian is perfect.
I met Brian. Is it okay to say Azad?
Yes, that's okay.
So we establish our protocol tonight, and you can say Patches. We cannot put all the frills aside, okay? But
Yes.
I met Brian. I know Azad very well, but I met Brian between June and I think December in 2016 or thereabout, when he first sought an audience with me in June and December on both occasions, when I was the minister with responsibility for public infrastructure, urban development, and transport and posts. I met him in my office, so we need to get full disclosure. And I recall, as a matter of courtesy, I met with him in my office, and he presented a letter then and a proposal for the development of a 44 megawatt solar plant under a different company by the name of Brico. Do you recall that, Brian?
That is correct. Your memory
Yes.
serves you well.
Yes, and I remember this smooth talking gentleman. He was tucked in an elegant suit, as he is tonight, and a tie. Told me that Prime Minister Harris was his good friend. And I outlined the process, I remember, which was documented in a letter dated in June 2016 as well. And subsequently, believe it or not, I was reflecting when Brian submitted a second proposal to develop a 3 million imperial gallon desalination plant. You remember that as well? I'm sure you do.
Yes, I do.
You do. And after discussion, and again outlining the process, I wrote a second letter. So for full disclosure, I wanted really to say this so that you can understand that we are not strangers, so to speak. We are not strangers, as I said, and we in fact discuss this proposal, and I remember, and for the record, I want to share with our listening audience and to jog your memory, Brian, when we discuss these two subject matters, solar and water, and we're still having the water problem today. And I recall that we did in fact communicate this letter, or these two letters, as you can glean. I believe you should be able to see them on your screens.
Yes.
You can
Both
see
water
them.
and power. And you're quite right, the problems still exist today.
Yes. And I did in fact communicate that letter, and for the benefit of those who are with us and can read it. The letters are first one, June 2016, proposal for 44 megawatt solar power plant. Many thanks for your letter of June 13, instant, in relation to the proposal and caption, also for the kind sentiments expressed therein same. And for your guidance, the said proposal should be forwarded to the CEO of Skelec, Mr. Farrell, who must then submit a recommendation to the board of directors for its consideration and necessary action. And the second letter in December regarding the proposals. Many thanks for your letter in relation to the proposals at caption and the kind sentiments expressed therein same. Similar thoughts are hereby reciprocated. For your guidance and ease of clarification, there is still need to be a more comprehensive appraisal of both proposals in order to fully evaluate their commercial potential. Also, prior to finalizing an agreement or financial transaction with Brico, irrespective of the model, the appropriate analysis must be undertaken by the Ministry of Finance and the Office of the Attorney General. And I recall as well, Brian, he was always this persistent customer, so to speak, and he never gave up. Always ensured that he kept coming and ensuring that whatever he wanted, he would get. And there were a plethora of emails as well. I'm going this way, Brian, and your counsel, that I then met Brian in 2018, some years after, when PM Harris and yourself, PM Harris invited me to a meeting at the hotel one Saturday morning. But it made me reflect on a comment that you made, and when your counsel called me or communicated with me yesterday and asked if his client could appear on the show, and I asked him if he was sure he wants to do that, quite frankly, and he said yes. I've spoken to him; he's fine with it. And I said I had no problem except a false insinuation that was made, and we had to get that out the way. And for the record, it's for the record. Really, I believe I would give Mr. Singh an opportunity to retract if he will show us some maturity, because the statement was for us, unless we misunderstood it. Did we? Are you there, Mr.
I
Singh?
think you did. I think you did. And like I told you earlier, the point of the matter is that I made a general statement about politicians, because I used to be heavily involved in politics in Trinidad and Tobago on the public money. And I'm saying that if you felt aggrieved with what was said because of misunderstanding the English that I spoke, my apologies. I told you that before. It's still started, and I'm telling you now.
Okay. Well, it's not about
I'm saying this to you, Patches, because we go way back. And like I always told you then, and I would tell anybody I meet today, when I meet somebody, I make friends for life. I'm not about making enemies, about making friends. Doesn't matter which side of the fence they are. At the end of the day, we have to be kind to each other as humans. And with that, we could move forward.
Certainly. Well, I'm happy that for the maturity demonstrated nonetheless. But we are here to talk about the housing revolution. And I recall this, Brian and Azad.
I want to take this opportunity to highlight the Minister of Housing, because we made a promise to the people of St. Kitts and Nevis that we will build 2,400 houses. We said to them that the houses will be stronger, that they will be able to withstand Category 5 hurricanes. We said to them that they will come with the opportunity for you to extend. We also say that they will come with basic appliances and cupboards and good tiling and all of the other amenities that would make a home fitting for you, the people of St. Kitts and Nevis. And we were doubted, because if you were not in our position, you would doubt as well. If you were not in the position of East Coast, you would doubt as well. So those of us on the inside, even though the storm was raging on the outside, the storms of doubt and the storm of talking innuendos and the accusations that this is not possible, we did not respond in kind. We said that at the right time, the program and the houses will speak for themselves.
Well, my Straight Talk family, Brian recall, said this as well.
Our purpose in St. Kitts is tenfold. One is we know that COVID brought a lot of hardship to every country, every island in the Caribbean and worldwide. And we thought that, listen, this is a good economy. You
is the audio off? I'm not hearing.
Hear the discussions that has been had. And I'll tell you where, in Barbados, for instance, and they talk that, listen, this man is a genius. So I said, which man? So I thought they were talking about Jesus. So they said, Dr. Drew, based on the fact that he had the testicular fortitude to bring projects like this together for the benefit of the economy. Because I said that, listen, we have to promote the economic growth in the economy after COVID. What happens if you don't do that? So patience is the watchword. And I want to say, Prime Minister, thank you for the opportunity. As in everything else, we're not going to let you down. We try to go by excellence.
Well, Brian, the Prime Minister said the houses will speak for themselves. And you referred to Prime Minister Joe, as you said, he was like Jesus. So tell us what went wrong.
Okay, so Patches, good evening.
Good evening.
Before my client addresses that question, I would just like to lay the foundation so persons are aware of what the discussion this evening is about. Mm-hmm. I say good evening to all persons listening, and I thank you, Patches, for having us this evening. I am here this evening with my client, East Coast Housing Development Limited, to clarify their position on the dispute with the government and the National Housing Corporation. Let me begin by saying this. My client came to St. Kitts in good faith, based on clear commitments made by public officials. As I have been advised by my client, East Coast agreed in April 2023 to partner with the government to build 2,400 affordable smart homes for the people of this country. They, my client, relied on assurances that the government would provide service land, issue a 25% performance guarantee, and support the project through the necessary approvals. Acting on those assurances, my client invested millions of US dollars, built 2 model homes right here in St. Kitts, secured funding and financing, sourced materials, and paid for work permits. They did everything a responsible development partner should do. However, and this is why we are here tonight, the commitments made to my client were not honored. No valid government guarantee was ever issued. The lands promised were not ready, and in some cases, not even owned by the state. Key correspondence, according to my client, was later found to be unauthorized or misleading, and the conduct of officials effectively brought the project to a standstill. Then, in February 2025, the government attempted to terminate the agreement. But from my client's perspective, the breakdown occurred because the government did not fulfill its side of the bargain. My client is now seeking the intervention of the High Court for a fair and just resolution, including cancelling the agreement and awarding damages for misrepresentation, misfeasance in public office, and the substantial financial losses suffered. We are not here tonight, Patches, to attack anyone. We are here to ensure that the public understands that East Coast relied on the government's promises, acted in good faith, invested heavily, and is now before the court because those promises were not kept. We do look forward to answering your questions and providing clarity as the discussion continues this evening.
Thank you very much, Azad. We did intend to cover all of that, but very good of you to provide that background. But having said what you said, as one familiar with projects, and through you, Azad, to Brian, and you laid out the issues. But wasn't there a schedule of works when this contract started? To you, Brian?
Brian, you would have knowledge of that. You could speak on that.
Is your
mic
on?
seem to be muted, Brian.
Okay, my apologies. When you ask about the schedule of works, I want to make sure that I understand your question so I can answer appropriately. When you say a schedule of works,
I'm sorry. I believe the contract, and you said the contract was it signed in what year, Azad?
In 2023.
And who signed the contract?
East Coast and the government of St. Kitts and Nevis.
Where's the government? There's no government. Somebody had to sign the contract. A permanent secretary, a minister, who signed it?
Dr. Hanley.
Oh, Dr. Hanley signed the contract. Okay.
Yes.
So, and I in a short discussion with you, you tend to suggest it was being done in phases. So if it's been done in phases, then schedules would have had to be established, right? A schedule of works, you'll do 2 houses, 10 houses over a period of time, and there's a drawdown or payment drawdowns. Wasn't that established? So you'll have what we call milestones expected at every stage. How was it done?
Correct. The 2,400 homes could not have been done all at one time, let's say 1 year. So when we did our analysis with regards to the amount of houses that wanted built, our question was, first, can the government provide the lots to do the 2,400? And we came up with a plan of 4 phases because they had advised that they could produce 600 lots per annum, per year, for 4 phases, which would have been 2,400. In the contract, it stipulated the duties and responsibilities of East Coast and the government and NHC in this regard. Initially, we had proposed to the government that we will do both infrastructure works and building the houses. Government said to us, no, we will undertake the infrastructure works. And infrastructure of works means that the area in question, cluster lots will be in cluster of lots, road, lights, and water. So we could have gone in there and start to build. Unfortunately, we had problems getting the 600 service lots. But before that, we got 2 lots, one in Connery to build 2 model homes, one 2-bedroom in Connery, model home, and in Taylor's development, another model home of 3 bedrooms. And the contract was contingent upon we did building the homes, the model homes, and getting the approval from NHC to the technical department and getting a completion certificate before moving on to continue to build the 598 homes that makes up the 600. When we completed that, to date, the government has not provided any service lots to us as regards to the 600. So if you're looking at the time span we signed the contract, we're supposed to have completed 1,200 homes presently. But the question is, if we did not get the 600 lots, where were we going to build these houses? And that is the problem we face today. So there's a process to follow, other than what we might be thinking out of the box. In the contract, there's a process of the duties, I said, and responsibilities of both parties. We have evidence that we have done what our duties and responsibilities were in relation to the contract, and the government has not done their part as yet.
So when was the government forced aware of any delays? Were they?
Well, if they were aware, when you say delays on their part of supplying the service lots, or
well, no, you built 2 homes and nothing happened. What happened to the 598?
Right.
Yeah.
Right. We were waiting on the government to provide the 598 lots to start the first phase as per our contract.
So they were aware of that pretty early.
Oh yes. The last time we wrote to them in January, we have been speaking to them all the time, and I've been giving them I didn't want to come across like a bull in a china shop. So I was able to say, they said, we're working on it. We are working on it. And as a good investor, you don't go on like a bull in a china shop and say, I want the lots now, or I'm going to leave. We know there were challenges because we realized somewhere along the line, they were having challenges getting the lots, or getting any lot at all, any cluster lots to make up the 600. And our bankers were very concerned also. The government is not delivering. How can you build and get paid to service the facility that you have with us? And that became a concern for them also.
But through your counsel again, and as you made mention of the contract termination or ending, but did the government issue any notice of breach to East Coast Housing Development at any time?
No. Let me take that first. In January of 2025, we wrote to the government, to the Ministry of Housing. We wrote to them after working with them for months in relation to trying to see how they can come up with the 600. We said, listen, we are very concerned, and you have not delivered. Our finances are concerned. Our EPC contractors are concerned, because we have not gotten us what is the situation. Immediately thereafter, let's say a month or so after, instead of responding to us in relation to why they couldn't do it or what was the problem, they decided to serve termination letters on us.
Just like that?
Yes. Well, after getting the letter, and we highlighted that you were in breach of the contract indirectly, and you couldn't deliver. You tried to use a clause that was not in the contract. to terminate. And there are certain avenues that you have to, Mr. Gomes will elaborate, certain procedures that you have to do or conduct before you reach there.
But yes, but then it either had to be contractual, technical, or financial. What was it? Are you there?
I didn't hear
They just terminated your contract, right? But the nature of the dispute that caused the construction to cease, I tried to put it in categories. It either had to be a contractual, technical, or financial, and I'm trying to establish what was it.
Yes, I agree with you, but I'm trying to explain to you, after we sent the letter to them, when we wrote to them officially, we received no reason why they couldn't provide, and they used that letter maybe as a form of intimidation to them. How do we get out of this and decide to send a termination letter?
Okay, so again, it takes us now to accountability and oversight. So, who within government or NHC oversaw and signed off East Coast Housing Development's work and payments? Was there any oversight? Was there?
Oh yes, NHC had responsibility for oversight. But you're talking about oversight. Yes, they provided a completion certificate. It was signed off by the Ministry of Housing and NHC. But when that is done, we provide that to NHC, and they should normally pay us. Take the ownership of the homes and pay us there. We have not been paid for the 2 model houses yet, which is part of the 600.
Did you meet with the cabinet or the cabinet or parliament fully informed of the risks before guaranteeing, and your council made mention of the guarantee, which was defective? Those are my words. But did you meet with the cabinet of ministers?
Well, we didn't know that the documents were fraudulent until August this year, when we made a request to the AG. When he did termination letter, and we made a request to him in writing for copies of documentation, he in writing returned and said he's not providing any. And through Mr. Gomes, we decided to, on our own, try to get copies of the documents, which we got, and then we realized the documents were fraudulent. Hence the reason why we decided to go towards a claim.
Fraudulent is a strong word.
Very strong and very correct and very factual. We have documentary evidence of that. Mr. Gomes can speak to that now.
Mr. Gomes, fraudulent. Break that down for the ordinary man.
Okay. So basically, when you have a misrepresentation, you have different aspects of it. We are saying that it is fraudulent because they knowingly, meaning that there was some level of dishonesty, knowingly knew that they could not provide the service lots as agreed in the contract, and still induced the client to enter into the contract and to his own detriment. So when we look at the word fraudulent, it basically means that the government knew or ought to have known that it was dishonest, knowingly that they didn't have these service lots, and still induced Mr. Singh to enter into the contract.
But the chief...
Hold on, Baptist. And let me add, and the government guarantee wasn't properly executed. Mr. Gomes, you can elaborate on that, you know?
Yes. Well, Mr. Singh, in the evidence, would have indicated that the way in which the government went about having the guarantee done was not done in accordance to the law. And I think Mr. Singh could speak to what really happened, as he is the one with the knowledge as the circumstances.
We got a guarantee signed by the Minister of Housing. And according to the laws of the Federation, you have to have a resolution done for that one. And the Prime Minister, well, at that time, Dr. Hani was acting PM, he had to get in writing a letter from the Prime Minister, for the Minister of Finance, authorizing him to do that. That was not done. Then the AG went to the National Assembly when he went to ask for the guarantee and produced a letter to the National Assembly under his signature stating that we want the guarantee approved now because we've already given East Coast 50 service slots and that they are working on right now, and we need the guarantee. At that time, like I said, at that time and even now, we have never received any service slots. So it's misleading to the National Assembly. You wrote a letter stating that you gave us slots. Not you're going to give us enough. You gave us slots, but it wasn't done.
Yeah, and when you look at fraudulent misrepresentation too, it is the most serious category of misrepresentation. And if proven, the contract becomes voidable, and the claimant, Mr. Singh, can recover damages in the tort of deceit. And these are more generous damages than it would be for innocent or negligent misrepresentation. So there's innocent misrepresentation, there's also negligent misrepresentation. But we're saying that the government knew or ought to have known and was and knew that they couldn't offer these 600 service lots and still induce the client to enter into the contract, get the necessary financing from the bank, and then...
And let me add, Mr. Combs, let me add. Then they gave us 20 lots to work on in Otley's, under the pretext that the lots belong to the NAC or the government.
But
then the lots were not owned by the government because we have a letter from the Ministry of Sustainable Development that they are now considering transferring the lots to the NAC. So we were building on lots that, what was not ours or the NAC. That's fraud again.
So let's be clear. This resolution, it's on your screen.
Yes, I'm seeing it.
This resolution went to Parliament and spoke to this guarantee. And you're saying that this was inaccurate?
Correct.
And the AG put this to the Parliament?
Correct.
And in law, Azad, how do you summarize that in law?
Say that again, Patches.
How do you summarize the misguidance or guidance through the chief legal officer had misguided the whole Parliament, and you're saying this resolution is fraudulent? That's what you're saying?
Well, that is what Mr. Singh is saying.
What are you saying?
Well,
you're his lawyer.
To be quite honest, there is a second matter that Mr. Singh is discussing that would venture out of contract law in a different realm that might be able to address that concern. We're still discussing it. Mr. Singh is actually contemplating whether or not to write to certain public officials indicating the actions of the Attorney General.
And you say, Brian?
Sorry?
And you say his actions bordered on misfeasance or malfeasance? That's what you said?
Misfeasance in public office, yes. If you go to the National Assembly and lie, with a document in documentary evidence, so get an approval.
So you're saying that
when you talk about misfeasance in public life too, we're looking at the public office, and it is a tort that occurs when a public official abuses their position either by acting unlawfully, knowing that they are acting unlawfully, or by acting with reckless disregard for the harm their actions may cause to a member of the public. So in simple terms, it is when a public official misuses their power on purpose or acts in a way they know is wrong and someone suffers harm as a result. In this circumstance, Mr. Singh will have suffered harm. And harm doesn't mean physical harm. Harm could mean reputational harm. Harm could mean financial harm.
And you're saying the public official, but we on Straight Talk. Are you referring to the Attorney General Garth Wilkin?
Well, at this point in time, I will not call any names as the matter is still before the court. But that will get into the evidential matter, which we really don't want to address yet.
Okay, I won't prod you, but in fact, you said that the Attorney General tabled the resolution in Parliament. But it's sub judice, I respect that. But could the government, let's move on to the claim from by the CIBC that it is public knowledge, and the CIBC claim and a notice of seizure made national news. And we always provide you the evidence here, and you can glean as well from your screens. But could the government, based on what you are saying to me tonight, could the government, the Terence Michael Drew administration, or NHC, become liable for any part of East Coast Housing Development's debt to the CIBC?
Say that question again, Patches.
The CIBC claim is posted on your screens.
Yes.
Based on what you said about malfeasance and all those legalities or illegalities, I'm asking the question, in your view, could the government, and here could is introducing the conditional based on what you outlined, could the government or the administration of Terence Michael Drew or the National Housing Corporation become liable for any part of East Coast Housing Development's debt to the CIBC?
That is CIBC is a contract between my client and them. It would be a separate legal matter. CIBC had contractual arrangements with the client. And so this is separate and apart from what the client has brought against the government, albeit that they form part of the basis of the case or around the same circumstances. In relation to that, having spoken to the client indicated to me that he was not properly served. And, when you're not properly served, the matter came before the court based on what the client said to me. The matter came before the court, and then there was a default judgment. We are looking into the ramifications of that as it speaks as a separate matter, because the bank and the client would have been parties to a separate contract.
And yes, that claim amounts to just under East Caribbean $8 million, the claim from the CIBC. What was that money used for?
Well, Mr. Singh would be the best person to answer that question.
Brian?
The money was used for the construction of the model homes, going to China to purchase material to bring down to continue the construction. Presently, we have around 31 to 32 40-foot containers on the port.
Okay.
And it is working capital for us. It was working capital for us.
Okay.
Money well spent. And to answer your question, you posed to council, not getting out of the box. We are saying that our contractual arrangement with the government, if we will not, how should I put it? If the government had honored their part of it, we would not have been owing the bank or anything like that. There wouldn't be a cause for that but the bank became concerned. They realized also that the government could not provide the 600 service lots, and they requested documentary, written confirmation from government that they were able to provide, which never came. And as a result, maybe the bank was scared and decided to go this way. So if the government did not renege on their duties and responsibilities, we would have been in this program having another discussion of success. So it's like a domino effect. We borrowed, government lost no money at all. We borrowed to do the project, and government knew that. We have a letter from the bank given the government stating that they were financing the project, and the bank had certain expectations of us, and we had certain expectations of government. So when government failed, we automatically fail to our bank.
So are you saying that East Coast House Development met all contractual obligations up to the dispute?
Yes, according to our contract, yes. Yes.
Okay.
But I'll tell you something to go back Patches. When you look at the time, government was supposed to, or just for information's sake, 30 days, according to the contract, 30 days after the contract is signed in 2020, to April 28, 2023, the government is supposed to give us our government guarantee of 25% of the full cost of the housing contract, which is $228 million, and then which is $56,947,000. That was the guarantee, because we know that's our first phase. They came back after and said, listen, the assembly wouldn't want to approve that amount. Can we break it down to 25% of the first phase? And they're supposed to come to us with document with both signatures that we approve and they approve to go to the National Assembly. We have not seen that, but they went to the National Assembly and cut down the guarantee. So there are a lot of misfeasance taking place in the sense that a lot of laws wasn't followed. And this will open up a can of worms, and I
think again, I mean, we don't want to discuss the entire case here this evening. Recognize, that we are giving an overview of the matter and not actually trying the matter this evening. So, yes.
Okay, so, yes, remember it's sub judice. That's the term you use, Counsel?
Yeah, that is correct.
No,
we don't want any evidence that might be recorded on this program. We use against Mr. Singh. The matter comes, yes.
So has the East Coast Housing Development responded to the CIBC's claim? Counsel?
We are doing so through Mr. Gumbs.
Yes, we have emailed them, and we are supposed to actually go and have further communication.
And are you at liberty to say whether any repayments were made to CIBC before the dispute arose?
But that would be in the knowledge of the client. I don't know if he's comfortable.
I don't want to go further, but the answer is yes.
Okay. So is this gone too far so that East Coast Housing Development would not resume construction if the dispute is resolved, or can it be resolved?
Well, at this point in time, I think that...
Let's reserve that.
Yeah.
Resolve that.
But at the end of the day, as Mr. Singh has indicated, that based on the contract, that the contract is saying, 600 service lots, and it seems very impractical that the government would be able to provide those as indicated.
So in terms of remedies or compensation, does East Coast Housing Development believe it is entitled to any from the government or from NHC?
Well, normally when you look at misrepresentation, it is to void the contract and to put the party back into the position that he would have been had he not carried out the contract. So he would have relied on the assurances to his detriment and would have suffered loss. So it's to put him back in the position that he would have been, before the contract.
Okay, I want to go to the lines, and we agreed that we'll open the lines and include our calls and emails. So if we can summarize then our discussion and perhaps ensure that we have full clarity before opening the lines. Was the project properly planned and vetted?
Yes,
Anyone?
it was.
It was. Okay. Did the East Coast Housing Development receive any government funds from the Treasury?
No, we did not.
Okay, you mentioned the $8 million and what it was for. Are we, in summarizing, are we saying that, am I asking, did the East Coast Housing Development fail in delivery, or did the government fail to meet its obligations?
Council?
Your mic is muted. Based on my clients, he has indicated that it was not on his end why this contract was not fulfilled. He had done all the necessary actions, he had taken all the necessary steps to ensure that the contract had been carried out. In fact, he's saying that the government was the one who has not honored its obligations.
So would you concur that, or perhaps you can say, what legal exposure, if any, does the government face going forward? Council.
Well, we have formed the claim in misrepresentation. Misrepresentation in the sense that would make the contract voidable, would in simple terms cancel the contract, and would put the client, Mr. Singh, back in the position he was before the misrepresentations were made. So essentially, he would be given back in damages monies that he will have spent as a direct result of relying on this promise.
Okay, as we're gonna go to the lines momentarily, but I want to address this position advanced by the minister responsible for housing, whom you said signed the contract. It's not normal for a minister to sign a contract, but he did. But he said this as well.
The 600 homes that we were anticipating, with all of the challenges that we might have been experiencing, not us so much as a government, but the investor, that has caused some delays. These matters are being worked on, and what I said to the Federation is that based on the contractual arrangement that we would have signed, the AG office, of course, is working on ensuring that the government's interest, which it is protected. But because of the delay, we have not lost any money as a government.
So the question we ask then, going forward, Council and Brian, Azad and Brian, right?
Well,
having heard
Brian would have indicated
the minister
earlier in this program.
Hello?
Can you hear me, Patches? Can you hear me?
Yes, I'm hearing you.
Yes. So Brian indicated earlier in this program that he had not received any monies.
Right.
And Brian could confirm whether or not that is the truth. And so if he did not receive any monies from the government, then one could say that the government did not lose anything as it relates to this matter.
Mm-hmm.
You recall that based on the terms of the contract, there was supposed to be a 25% government guarantee. That's if he had started the construction of these homes on the service lots, and that he was not being paid. If he didn't receive income through the normal means of the contract, then government would have assured him at least 25% of what he would have used. I think Brian could to go in further without touching much of the evidence.
Brian?
Guide me what I need to not say and say, because
Brian,
like I said,
Brian,
I think I said a
Brian,
lot before.
the question
Sorry?
is, did you receive any monies from the government?
No.
Did you receive, there was a 25% guarantee in the contract. Was that carried out, and did you receive monies under that?
No, that 25% guarantee could not have been carried out as yet, because we didn't, well, as a matter of fact, it's strange that you're asking, I'm not thinking about it. Because that guarantee says once the government has not paid, NEC hasn't paid us in 14 days, we could file for on the guarantee for payment. We have not done that in good faith. So hoping that the government will have come through the 598 service lots, which they have not, and only to know to find out the contract is invalid, right? So we decide to go the route that we're going right now. So no money was paid to government from government to us, but we extended funds.
I think he has answered the question, Patches.
Okay, so just finally, does that eliminate what I call the material, ongoing and contingent risk created by the US $10.26 million guarantee, although it was not, although you said it was faulty?
Say that again, Patches.
Having said that this, and what you said just now in terms of the 25% and so on, and what the minister said, I'm asking the question, does that eliminate the material, ongoing and contingent risk created by the faulty guarantee?
Well, if the guarantee is not correctly done, then it cannot be carried out as pursuant to the contract. And if he has not received the proper guarantee, then he can't move any further. I think what we are saying here essentially is that the government has not honored any of its obligations under the contract. And although Mr. Singh has honored his obligations, the government is left to do that. And that is why Mr. Singh is bringing an action in misrepresentation, because he believes that the government knew that they were unable to satisfy the conditions and still went in to induce him into entering this contract.
Okay, so we will momentarily open the lines, right? And, the bottom line, though, is that the government went to Parliament to legally approve a guarantee for the housing project. That cannot be disputed. The US $10.26 million was not an upfront payment, but a promise to pay if necessary. This did not help you, it seems, Mr. Singh, from getting the bank financing needed to start work. The resolution made the project official, transparent, and backed by the nation's elected representatives. At least that's what it looked on the face of it. But even though the project later ran into problems, the original intention of the resolution had to be to protect the project, attract financing, and show full government support. Is that correct? Anyone?
Yes.
It is correct. Okay. So, what we do then, we have exhausted the issue of the guarantee, and perhaps we can open the lines and hear what our viewers and listeners are saying. The numbers are on our monitors. the access to our email, that address is also on our monitors. I always like to implore our listeners, our callers, our emailers, that we must respect others. And of course, to achieve that, we must first respect ourselves. Let us try to be fair to all concerned. Let us as well try to build goodwill and better friendships. Let us, my Straight Talk family, in the process, try to say and do the things that are beneficial to all. And in the process of saying and doing those things, let us, my Straight Talk family, strive to build a kinder, gentler St. Kitts and Nevis. With that said, the lines are open, and I take my first call. It's 7 minutes past the 9 o'clock hour. We go to the lines. Caller, you're live.
Yes. Good night, Brother Patches.
Yes, good night, sir.
Brother Azad. Good to see you. I will think you are a great luminary. I like the way you make your opening statement.
What's the question? What's the question, caller? What's the question? We have a lot of lines tonight.
Based on what I'm hearing, there was a guarantee by the government for this project to be started. And somewhere along the way, the government did not follow up on its guarantee. So that considered as a breach of contract. And if Mr. Singh used, and I stand for correction, his own money, contemplating the government would have come through. And nothing came through, which the government did not put up any money. Well, Mr. Singh had a right to be stagnant.
Okay, what's the question?
So,
what's the question?
The question is, isn't the government in its early stage of the project has a breach of this contract?
Okay. Azad or Mr. Singh?
So there can be issues of breach, but we decided to take a particular path due to certain terms in the contract.
Okay, let's go back to the lines and thank this caller for holding. Caller, you're live. Hello, caller.
Hello.
Yes, you're
Hello.
live. You're live, sir.
Yes.
Could you turn
Yes,
your equipment down or move away?
Yes. Yes. Are you hearing me better now?
I'm getting the feedback from you though, but go ahead, please.
Okay. Good evening to the three of you there on the program.
Yeah, good evening.
Listening to the program, right? Part of the discussion was said that there was a guarantee of funds, I think, that was supposed to be given to East Coast. And the representative for East Coast is saying East Coast didn't receive any guaranteed, whether of monies or other kind, right? And also in the discussion, we're hearing there's a claim on East Coast for, I think, from CIDC of $8 million. If I'm wrong, stop me and correct me. But two model house was built. Where I'm asking the representative for East Coast, where did those funds came from to build those model houses? And I think I heard him say that some money they went to China, I think, to purchase, I think, materials or other kinds to start the project. So where did these funds come from? These funds was East Coast funds itself, or
we got your question. We got your question. Now you want to respond there? Anyone?
Yes, those were East Coast funds, not the bank. These are personal funds that we use up front to build the model homes.
Okay, let's go back to the lines. Caller, you're live. Hello, caller. Are you there, caller?
Good night, Patches.
Yes, good night, sir.
Good night, Patches. I'd like to say good evening to your two guests as well. Mr. Brian Singh and Mr. Azhar Gums.
Good evening.
Good evening.
I must say that.
Could you speak up a little bit, caller?
I must say that from the outset that I have some experience in this industry of construction and development. And I found myself listening to Mr. Singh on Saturday on the show with DJ Marishaw on again tonight. And I find it incredulous, and I'm actually surprised and somewhat sympathetic now with Mr. Singh. But I wanted to ask a couple of questions. Did I hear Mr. Singh correctly when he said that the government of St. Kitts took 2 model homes paid for by him, distributed those houses to occupants, and yet they have never paid Mr. Singh?
That is correct.
Are you there, caller?
Hello?
He said that's correct.
Well, I find that incredulous. I find that unbelievable that a government could take houses completed by a developer or a contractor, accept them as acceptable and meeting the terms of the agreement, distribute them to occupants, and not pay the developer. Mr. Gums would have to answer that question, but if I was in Mr. Singh's shoes, I would say that that is fraud.
Any other question, caller? Before I get Mr. Gums to answer, so I can. Any other question, caller?
Yes.
Yes, quickly.
Sorry?
Any other question? I want to free up the line.
Yes.
Just.
Yes. And I also wanted to ask, also wanted to get one other point of clarity if Mr. Singh can address this one for me. Did I understand Mr. Singh to say that the government guarantee delivered to East Coast was signed by Minister Hanley, who was then acting as Prime Minister, but prior to the resolution in Parliament?
Correct. That's the first guarantee. That's the first guarantee.
Okay, caller. I'll have Azad answer your question. Are you offline?
No,
it was signed by Dr. Hanley and the AG.
But I don't think he really asked a question. I think he made more of a comment. Okay. And that comment would be based on Mr. Singh's knowledge. Again, I don't want us to get into too much facts of the case.
Okay.
But we can, some of these questions are, I guess, there can be just in passing, whether he received monies, whether he spent for the homes. The essential matter is that the government did not honor, and just to make it very simple, the government did not honor its obligations, one, by providing the service lots, two, by providing the necessary 25% government guarantee, as indicated in the contract.
Okay, let's go back to the lines and thank this caller for holding. Caller, you're live. Hello, caller. Are you there, caller?
Good night, Mr. Liber.
Yes, good night, my dear.
And also to Mr. Singh and Mr. Gums.
Yeah, good evening.
The quotation for this evening often highlight government's tendency to hoard power.
To hoard power?
Yes. Forget its purpose.
Its purpose.
And act against people's interests.
Against people's interests.
I repeat, often highlight government's tendency to hoard power, forget its purpose, and act against people's interests. Have a great evening.
Have a great evening as well. Let's go back to the lines and thank this caller for holding. Caller, you're live. Hello, caller.
Mr. Straight Talk.
How are you doing? Abracadabra.
Abracadabra.
Yes.
I don't want to get into too much, but I did Mr. Singh good night and Mr. Assad good night. How are you guys doing? I was in my bed. I almost dropped sleep when I remember this thing coming on. But did Mr. Singh said, maybe I'm wrong, that the containers are under dock and they bring the containers?
Correct.
Yes, he said so.
I hear him say something about like 40 containers are at the dock. So, Mr. Singh, the 40 containers are at the dock at this moment?
Not 40, about 31, 32, yes.
Mr. Straight Talk?
Yes, he said 32 containers that are at the dock.
No, something is terribly wrong. All right, thank you so much.
Thank you for your intervention. We go back to the lines and thank this caller for holding. Caller, you're live. Hello, caller. Okay, we seem to have lost that caller. This email question comes from a viewer, or two questions. The Attorney General has never updated the public on this. If he's afraid of fraudulent representations he introduced, is he afraid, beg your pardon, of fraudulent representations he introduced in the Parliament? And the other question, considering the new SZ Acts, is there a possibility the government decided not to respect the agreement with Mr. Singh to give the land for any SEZ with another developer? That's a question. I don't know if you...
those questions are comments, not within our knowledge, but would be in the knowledge of the Attorney General and government. And, those are comments and questions that only they would be able to answer. But we get the point.
Yes. Any comment? Or the council would have commented for you, Mr. Singh. I forgot you're armed with your council tonight. Good night, Mr. Patches. My question is for Mr. Gums. Does knowingly submitting fraudulent documents relative to 50 service lots tantamount to a criminal offense? Mr. Gums?
Yes. So, those are matters that we are actually discussing. We have not yet decided how we're going to approach that. It's a fair question. It means that the person is thinking, but we have not. We have been discussing something in that regard, but we know we are from a small island jurisdiction, and you know how it is when you're from a small country. But it's something that we have been discussing. Whether or not we're actually going to go forward with something like that is still to be determined.
An email of caution to you, Mr. Gums. Please be careful with your answering too many questions, because it's a matter in the court and this could be very prejudicial. I hope you would not say too much to cross the line to be taken into the court. Mr. Singh, you are a very patient person, as I would have been getting out the occupant of the two houses. Is there any truth that Mr. Singh is related to the AG's wife, a concerned citizen?
Say that question again?
Is there any truth that Mr. Singh is related to the AG's wife?
Well, I mean, I guess that's a question that Mr. Singh would answer.
Yes, and I am saying the answer is no.
Okay. You were saying that, Azad?
Yes, and I do agree with that email that there are some, we are treading a thin line because we don't want to say too much and give out too many details of the matter. But we understand that, persons have their questions. But again, as the matter develops, we will update accordingly.
Okay, certainly. But, you are the council, and it's just an opinion whether it was criminal or not. I don't think that would prejudice your case, would it? As a learned counsel.
I I wasn't talking to that specifically, but generally speaking.
But did you answer that question though?
I think I gave a fair response to that question. I said it's something that we were considering, something that we were discussing.
Okay.
But we have not come to any conclusion.
So it's bordering on being criminal then.
But we're not saying that yet.
Yes. Now, getting back to the guarantee, because I am still looking at the issue as it relates to that particular document. And Mr. Singh, or through you, Mr. Singh, through your counsel, what in fact, I don't know if I missed it, what in fact, what was the basis of the bank to disburse that amount of monies, almost $8 million? Was it your the way you dress, your nice talk, or your what? No collateral?
No,
what?
The money was for the construction of the homes. We brought down the machine to make the panels. We brought down windows and doors, and we brought down material to build 40 homes in the first instance until we install the factory, which is the port.
Oh, so you were actually installing a factory?
Yes, to manufacture the panels.
Ah, okay.
So our
okay.
investment into St. Kitts and Nevis was not just build and leave, like I said in the Saturnina Tailors. We were here to stay because of the heavy investment we were making in the island. And we on our due diligence, we realized that there was not just the need for 2,400 homes, but much more in relation to maybe middle income and high income.
Okay.
And our factory would have been able to make the panels, which is better than the bricks.
How is it though, Mr. Singh, that you would increase the cost or the size of houses at no additional cost? That needs some explanation.
No.
Well, I think
management
is what?
Go ahead, Mr. Combs.
I think we're getting into a lot of matters outside of this case now.
Well, it was said by the minister that these houses were in the size were increased, but there was no additional cost to the owners. One bedroom, two bedroom.
That's a statement by the minister, and the minister would have to answer that statement. I don't think that Mr. Singh would have to answer that statement. That's for the minister to answer.
I'm not being difficult, but Mr. Singh, I have him. I don't have it. I can pull him up now, saying that the houses were increased in floor space at no additional cost to the government.
Okay, if he's on record saying that, then
yes, he's on record saying that. Don't you recall?
I'm on record saying that, and I'm saying that's to show, if you understand.
Yes.
That was to show good faith, and if you understand what good faith is that I didn't come here to make $1 million per home. I came here to partner with the government and for the benefit of the people.
Okay.
So that they can have a home, not a house.
Okay. Okay, let's go back to the lines and thank this caller for holding. Caller, you're live. Hello, caller.
Yes, good evening. A question to Mr. Singh. Was there any discussion with East Coast from the government or NEC about any CBI funding to fund the project?
I didn't hear the question clearly.
It was asked if there was any discussion with government about CBI funding for the project.
Not us, not the East Coast.
Okay. Let's go back to the lines and thank this caller for holding. Caller, you're live.
Yes, Patches, this is Winston. Welcome again. Last question for the night. Brother Azad, have you deposed the government side of this matter? And I assume from that deposition, you will be able to be more keenly and framing your case as we move forward. Thank you for that. And I'll leave it right there.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, in any case, you try to think about what the opposition would bring, and then you try to see how best you could formulate your case. In hindsight, so we looked at different angles. Yes.
Okay. It's now 27 minutes after the 9 o'clock hour. If you have just joined us, we have as our guests for tonight Counsel Azad Gums and his client Brian Singh of East Coast Housing Development, and we are discussing why only 2 model homes built after we were promised 2,400 homes in 4 years. It was supposed to be a housing revolution. And I don't know if we did in fact address that issue of capacity to deliver that amount of houses in that period of time. Is that something your client can discuss, Azad?
Well, I mean, the client has indicated that on all accounts, well, he might not have said this here, but on all accounts, he's saying that he was able to do the job. Okay. Any default would have been on the side of the government, not the client. That is what he's saying.
Okay. And I guess he has to be guided by his counsel. Now, there's a discussion as well about Chinese labor. And the Chinese would have been brought in. We understand that equipment has come from China. Is that correct, Azad?
Well,
that is correct.
Okay. What about the Chinese labor? Did we have Chinese labor coming in as well?
Yes.
Okay. And so let's ask the question. As a Caribbean man, and I don't know if you are at liberty to say whether your company is registered in St. Kitts. Is he at liberty to say that? It is?
It is.
So then you can still, outside of this contract, start building low-income houses, can you?
Well, I mean, we are discussing here, Patches, the contract, and just what this contract is about. We're not discussing anything outside of the contract or any hypothetical scenario relating to a new contract.
No, that's not a contract. He's a registered Kittitian Division company.
Yes.
So isn't he at liberty to start building these low-income houses with no contract? He has money. It obviously that Brian Singh has access to money, don't you?
Yeah, but at the end of the day, Patches, the client came to Singh and Nevis based on what he said. Entered into agreement with the government to partner in building the homes. The client never at any point in time said that he came for the business of producing homes. He came to partner.
But he also said that when he's here, he has long-term relationships, if that's the words he used. And he goes 10 years and beyond. And I believe I heard him say he's a Kittitian.
Long-term relationships.
With the country.
Many persons can have long-term relationships, Patches. It doesn't mean that in having those long-term relationships that a company would want to build houses even if they could, or would want to venture into building houses even if they could.
So you will go back to solar then and desalination? I don't understand you, Azad.
No, you're asking the question, Patches, right? If he's interested in building houses on his own?
No. I'm asking the question. having said he's a registered Kittitian division company. Am I correct? Isn't
Correct.
he? Yes. So if he's a registered Kittitian company, you or I can engage him tomorrow to build a nice smart home for you or I, can't he?
Oh, is in that regard you're talking?
Yes, I mean, yes.
Uh-huh.
Why are you so cagey? We on straight talk.
Okay. I'm making sure that, I don't want Mr. Singh to enter into conversation that he need not enter into.
No. Well, I understand that. We're not talking about the containers, right? The 32 containers. Because I'm saying that Mr. Singh obviously has access to money. And he can help the poor people, because we are, in terms of housing, shelter, we are in a housing deficit in the country. And if the government can't deliver, then the private sector should deliver. And I consider him part of the private sector, outside of his contract with the government. Is that okay?
But that is for Mr. Singh to answer.
Mr. Singh?
I'm guided by counsel.
Say again, Mr. Singh?
I'm guided by counsel to answer any question. I will not get me in trouble.
Yes.
Okay, we'll talk that in camera then. Let's go back to the lines. Caller, you're live. Hello, caller.
Yes, good night again.
Good night, sir.
I think I heard Mr. Singh said, right, that the government defaulted for something to that thing on the contract, and then stopped the contract afterwards, right? If I'm not saying it right, if you're not saying, you could stop me. But Mr. Singh or East Coast did not do what they're doing now until a claim was brought against them from CIBC. If that was so, where he said the government defaulted and then broke the contract or stopped the contract, why didn't he at that time bring a claim against the government? Thank you.
Is that a question we can answer? Counsel?
Well, Mr. Singh would have indicated to me that there are certain issues that didn't come to his attention until after.
Okay, let's go back to the lines. Caller, you're live. Hello, caller.
Patches.
So,
Patches, good evening.
Good evening, sir.
This man is throwing everything at the ceiling. He is an outlaw. He reminds me of Mark Brantley. It's all about him. Good night.
Didn't know if you understood that comment. Did you? Anyone?
I think the caller gave a comment in his own opinion.
Okay, thank you. Now it's 26 minutes before the 10 o'clock hour. Have we omitted anything, Counsel or Brian, as it relates to the contract, and that you want to introduce now? Have we?
I think we have said a lot on this contract. I think we have engaged and spoken on it. I think people Singh and Nevis are sufficiently knowledgeable of what is happening.
Okay, then let's go back to the lines. Caller, you're live.
Yeah, good evening, Patches. Real quickly, as you was poking there, right?
As what?
As you was poking just now.
Poking
about Mr. Singh. Yes, asking Mr. Singh about doing other work. That's definitely going outside the discussion of the contract. But
no, I wasn't speaking about the contract. I wasn't speaking about the contract.
Yeah. You wasn't. Yeah, I got that. That's what I'm saying. You wasn't. But I guess the council is trying to stick with the contract discussion tonight. But what I want to poke at, like you was poking just now, and you was asking that question. So my question is going to the attorney for East Coast. We know when this is a civil suit, right? That's number one. If you can correct me as I go along. Once it's a civil suit, we know there's a lot of legalities. As we mentioned, certain things that happen in the parliament, misfeasance in public life, and that type of stuff, right? The AG is going to be brought into this stuff. You know what I mean? Patches, you should cue up that clip that you got in the AG where he was chastised by that judge because, man, the people of St. Kitts and Nevis they got to look at this stuff so closely because our public officials, they are not negotiating in the benefit of the people. Their negotiations are so weak, it's bringing them to this situation here. And then we are facing that Destiny project in Nevis. I mean, if this is happening to a contract situation concerning these houses, what we think going to happen when that Destiny project come and the government side fail, like we're seeing failures right now. And one thing I'm going to point to, and then I'm going to get off, is we hear the council said that any type of resolution, he will move to put in Mr. Singh and his company back to where they need to be. And they will only incur, the liability that they will incur will only be whatever money they spent. But I want to tell the people of St. Kitts and Nevis, if anything happens like this with the Destiny project, the developers will not just go back to what they spent. They're going to go to a figure surmountable past the amount they will spend at any one time when the government default. And I'll leave it there. Thanks a lot.
Thank you very much.
Thanks for your questions and concern, Burl. Patrice, do you know what specifically Burl would have asked? I know he made a lot of comments.
Well, he didn't make pose a specific question. His comments and his tries to liken it to the SEZ Destiny project in Nevis and what can happen if they don't deliver.
Yes.
You know, and we spoke to the failure. We spoke to the misfeasance or malfeasance, and we spoke to so many other issues as well. We briefly looked at due diligence, and we perhaps never asked what due diligence was performed on East Coast housing development, if any. Is that a question you'll entertain, Azad?
Well, I mean, Mr. Singh, was there any due diligence done? Well, that would be for the government to answer. I mean, that would be operations of the government, wouldn't it?
But he would know whether any due diligence was performed on East Coast housing development.
Yes, it was. And East Coast Housing Development is an arm of the Brightco General Contractors Group, who have been doing work housing in the Caribbean before. However, we were part of 7 or 11 contractors who responded to the government for housing, and it went through the procurement procedure, and we were called and said, "You're successful."
Also, it did in fact. I thought it was a sole source.
Wow! I wish I would have.
Was it published? Was that procurement ad published? I don't recall seeing that.
I can't answer that question. That's the government to answer, and the minister at the time.
So you're saying that the based on the Procurement and Administration Act, that was satisfied, and publication was a tender was put out for contractors?
I think what Mr. Singh is saying that he followed the guidelines proposed by the government.
Or he followed the guidelines proposed by the government?
Or whatever requirements was necessary at the time.
I thought he said he mentioned some 7 other contractors.
I was advised.
Oh, you were advised?
Hearsay evidence.
Oh, man.
Hearsay evidence.
Okay. Hearsay. That's what you said?
Yeah, once you're not privy directly, that's hearsay.
Okay. English is a funny language, especially with that Trinidadian accent.
Legally, hearsay is not admissible in court.
Okay, I see. So then, okay. So the bank is seeking repayment from East Coast Housing Development. Is that a question we can entertain?
Well, you've seen the documentation.
Claim. Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. Right. and it's from East Coast Housing Development and not the government or NHC. We haven't touched the issue of the seizure though. Have they seized those 32 containers, or is that a matter you cannot discuss?
I haven't discussed that with Mr. Singh yet, so I wouldn't want him to go and speak on the matter.
Okay, but besides the notice of seizure though?
Yes.
That was public. That's public knowledge.
That was circulating.
Yes. We had it on our screens tonight. But let's go back to the lines. Caller, you're live. Hello, caller.
Yes, Brother Patches. I had said it would have been my last question since I've spoken. But quick question. Mr. Singh, this project costs X and X of money due to the estimation. Is there any government official looking forward to get kickback from this project? Because we don't trust these government officials. They all are corrupted, and any project they indulge in, they're looking for something back in their hands under the table somehow. Can you categorically say there are no kickbacks, and what is for the contract is to East Coast, and that's it? I rest it there.
Well, I don't think that
will cause conflict of interest where the government is trying to make something off of the project.
Okay, we got you. You're saying Azan?
Yeah, I don't think that's something that Mr. Singh should answer at this point in time. We understand your concerns, welcome, but
okay,
I don't think it's something that he should venture into at this time.
What do you interpret as kickbacks, though, Council?
Well, based on the normal terminology of kickback, someone will have been awarded a contract by a particular individual, and as a result of being awarded a contract, they have to give that individual something from the contract, the proceedings from the contract, the monies. Okay.
We haven't amplified the issue, though, as it relates, and getting back so we could say on the claim on is that the contract was signed, if I recall, in April of 2023. Am I correct?
Mr. Singh? He's talking about this.
That's what you said?
Sorry, can you repeat, sir?
Did you say that the contract was signed in April of 2023?
Yes, that's correct.
And then the guarantee was signed 1 year after, in 2024. Did you say that as well?
Counsel?
Mr. Singh, so the contract, if you are looking at it, the contract was signed sometime in 2023, Patches.
Yes.
I'm looking at it.
Yeah.
1 second. There was a guarantee signed on the 13th of June.
Yeah. I don't think he needs to go into the details of that guarantee.
Not just the date. What date it was signed? 2024, is it?
2023. There were two guarantees.
There were two guarantees?
One signed on the 13th of June, and then another in 2024. And I'll have to go into too many specifics.
Yeah, but the one that went to Parliament in June 2024, that's what we had.
Right. So it means to say, Mr. Gomes, can I speak freely?
No, I think because those matters are still in court, the court still has to determine the merit of the case. I wouldn't want Mr. Singh to go into details and to be prejudiced. Because even though he makes an assertion, the court has to determine based on the merit whether he's correct or not.
Well, we can determine that because the document, which is a public document, that resolution is dated 2024. Is that correct?
Well, if you have the document and it's dated 2024,
it's yes.
I've answered your question.
Can you
answer? You answered your own question.
Yeah, fine. So I'm saying there's some anomaly. I'm trying to establish whether there's an anomaly with a contract signed and the guarantee, which speaks to a guarantee, but the guarantee comes at 1 year after.
Now you understand why it is we took so long to get off the ground. The government couldn't deliver.
Okay,
I think that's a good answer.
Let's go back to the lines. Caller, you're live. Yes, caller, you're live. Hello, caller, you're live. Yes, caller, you're live.
Yeah, thank you.
Are you there, caller?
I think yes, I am. I am here. I think, if I'm hearing correctly, what seems to have transpired is as follows. Sometime in April of 2023, an agreement was signed between the government of St. Kitts and Nevis, the NHC, and Mr. Singh's company, East Coast. Sometime subsequent to the execution of that agreement, I heard what Mr. Singh said just now, or on or around the 13th of June 2023, and prior to the parliamentary resolution, he received a guarantee. And he said earlier that that guarantee instrument that he received prior to the parliamentary resolution was a document signed by Dr. Hanley and the AG. That is what he has said tonight.
Yes. Any comment?
I don't think there's need to comment any further. I think that would be a matter of the court examine.
But you're concurring what the caller is saying?
The caller has laid out the facts as presented.
Okay, they are the facts. Anything further, caller?
No, that was what I deduced from what I heard tonight.
Okay. Thank you kindly. Thank you very much. It's now 12 minutes before the 10 o'clock hour, and Straight Talk is heard every Monday and Thursday from 8 to 10 in the PM. We have with us Azad Gums, Counsel for East Coast Housing Development, Brian Singh, its Managing Director. Caller, you're live. Hello, caller.
Hey, Patches, let me get one question in real quick to Mr. Singh, either one. Was there any trade secrets that Mr. Singh didn't want to be disclosed to the public? Was there any such things in the contract and were prohibited to be, let out to the public? And I'll leave it there. Thanks a lot. You guys have a good night.
Thank you. Trade secrets. Azad?
Mr. Singh will be able to answer whether or not he has trade secrets.
In every business, there's a trade secret at whatever level. That's all I have to say. That's all I have to say.
And what's your trade secret like? Is it in the panels? What's in what? Where you find your trade secrets? Don't tell us what they are.
I claim privilege.
Yes.
But on a serious note, though, right? How long would it take, or should it take, to construct a 1-bedroom, 2-bedroom, and a 3-bedroom house in terms of construction time?
With our system, we could do it in 30 days.
30 days?
Yes.
Okay. And the model homes were done within your...
No, it wasn't, because we had challenges, which I wouldn't want to go in detail, because of the matter before the court.
Okay. Patches, sorry, go ahead.
When it was spoken by an official that there were challenges with the project, and then they said the investor was having challenges. That was a correct assumption, but it was not. And I'm just saying this off the cuff. It wasn't the challenges the investor was having because of him. It was having because of the other party not fulfilling the obligations. Not the challenge we had. But he didn't just go in detail. So I'll leave it there.
Well, because they were not, as you said, service lots. That's the term you use? And there was no infrastructure and so on. Am I correct?
Infrastructure is another name for service. Light, water, and roads.
Okay. Patches reads this email. This government is really a mess. Everything they put their hands on fails. Look at all the failed projects so far. They just can't do anything properly. We have elected a group of worthless vagabonds, reads this email. Would you say, Council, that this East Coast Housing Development project is a failed project?
Well, I would say this. The agreement was for 2,400 homes. Based on what my client has said, he could have carried out his obligations. It was the other party that didn't carry out his obligation. And as a result, the contract was basically at a standstill. I think therein lies the answer.
So is standstill synonymous to fail? What are you saying?
As promised,
we were straight talking, Azad.
600 homes per year, as promised, was not delivered.
Okay.
600 service slots was not delivered.
Yes. And as a result, there weren't 600 homes as promised by this administration.
Right.
So this administration, you could say, failed to deliver.
Okay, fine. I have several questions for Mr. Singh, reads this email. Does he have any outstanding debts related to the constructed houses? What is the current status of the 10 houses initiated in Atlas? Were the involved individuals compensated? Did he pay for the removal of the containers from the port? Did he issue a bounce check to the port which caused the items to remain there? Additionally, for those outside of Trinidad who invested in this project, did they travel to St. Kitts to assist in returning the Chinese workers to China? These are fair questions?
I mean, Mr. Singh came here to discuss the contract, not matters arising outside the contract. So I don't think it's fair for him to answer that.
So the houses in Atlas, they were not part of the cluster houses? I'm just asking. I'm not. Your client said as part of the contract, there were some cluster homes to be built, and cluster means area in a particular areas. Am I correct? I'm not telling you to answer the question, but just for my own information.
I don't think we need to venture into that, Patches.
Okay.
Can I ask, Patches, can I ask you a question?
Sure. The question normally come from this side of the mic, but I'll entertain you.
Can you build on land that doesn't belong? Can you give me permission to build on land that doesn't belong to you?
Of course not.
I rest my case.
Okay, so that answers the question. Who should have signed the contract? Reads this email. Who should have signed it? And what good governance practice did he breach? Can this be used against him in the court case? I don't know if that you'll want to venture there.
No, we want to venture into that because that's going into matters of the court.
Yes, I would imagine so. So, what I can say really, it is the accounting officer. This is not coming from you. This is coming from Straight Talk. The accounting officer in each ministry is the permanent secretary, and no minister should sign contracts. So that's coming from not from you, it's coming from Straight Talk. You do not have to comment either, and I'm sure you won't. Azad, you're laughing. Now it's some 5 minutes before the 10 o'clock hour. We want to thank you for being here tonight. Perhaps we'll squeeze in one more call, if at all, if that caller would deal with the instructions of brevity. Failing that, though, I give you the opportunity, Council, to wrap, and Brian as well to give your final wrap as well. Whatever order.
So, Patrice, I want to say thank you for the opportunity to come here this evening and to discuss matters relating of national and public interest Generally speaking, these matters would be just discussed privately, but we understand that it is of public interest. And it was a public conversation when these homes were being discussed. And so Mr. Singh thought it necessary to give his own version of what happened to him.
Mr. Singh? Brian Singh.
Patrice, I've been silent for a while. And when propaganda ruled the airwaves in relation to what was and what was not, I am happy to be on your program so that both Mr. Gums and myself and yourself can educate the population at large with the facts as they were, so that the country will be, like I said, more educated on actually what transpired and not be propagated with information that, there's like a basket holding water. I thank you again for the opportunity. And, my being in the Federation, first and foremost in this housing project was for the benefit of the citizenry and just for information purposes. You mentioned earlier in relation to the size of the house was more, it was increased, the square footage at no additional cost. At the same time, what maybe you didn't know, but I'll let you know now, the cost of the house, even though it was larger than what was being built previously by the NHC and the government, our cost is far cheaper. Our quality of work is far better. We gave a 10 years on our homes, 10 years structural warranty to tell you how we felt about the construction that we provide for the people of the Federation. Thanks again. And I believe now more than ever, and I should say this, I have a fearless counsel, one who is more professional than he seems to be in physical appearance. I'm grateful for his guidance. And at the same time, as you mentioned initially, this is not about politics and anything else. It's about the people. And I'm happy that you were able to let the Federation know that we know each other for a number of years in good standing.
Can you just make one final response? Just like we started, we can end. When you mentioned that Prime Minister Drew to you was like Jesus, what would you call him now? Jesus or the devil?
But just put this way. So we are all good in our own way, and sometimes we are misled. However, it's like a politician in a Caribbean island told me one day. No, let me make it crystal clear. I'm not saying this about what. I'm not answering a question like this. I'm saying one day I heard in a Caribbean island.
Okay.
Two politicians arguing and said, "Yes, today you're Jesus, and tomorrow you're still something else but J."
Judas. Okay. Thanks a lot.
I did not say that about the Prime Minister. He's my friend. He will always be my friend. At the end of the day, I have no animosity against anybody. Dr. Drew, far as I'm concerned, is a gentleman. Like all of us, Mr. Gums, myself, and yourself, sometimes as you grow older, sometimes we are misled and we don't even know. And I say in closing, let not your heart be troubled, for the Lord is with you.
And always with you.
And always with you.
That's a nice way to end it, my Stray Dog family. We thank Azad Gums, now known as the fearless advocate.
Correct.
And Mr. Brian Singh, a man of many talents. Now he's dealing with housing. We don't know what tomorrow brings, but let's keep hope alive. Thank you, Brian. Thank you, Azad. And we thank all those who viewed our program tonight. And We trust and hope that we brought you the information that you anticipated. But I want to thank Almighty God for guiding our conversation tonight, and thank all the many viewers, all the callers, all those who send emails. Remember, you are the ones who make Straight Talk, and for that I say a big, big thank you. Thank you one more time to Azad Gums and to Brian Singh, and we will connect on Thursday for another edition of Straight Talk. Until then, be good to yourselves and to all whom you meet. And remember that whatever your mind conceive, that you will achieve. But first of all, you must believe. So when you wake in the morning, thank God for the morning light. Thank Him for taking you to the night. And my Straight Talk family, keep moving on. Bye-bye. Until we connect on Thursday. God bless as well.
The morning, I thank God for the morning light, giving thanks and praises for taking me safely through the night, for the rest of food and loving care, and for my mother's breath of life that's got me here. So whatever my mind conceives that I will achieve, you better believe, because I do the things I should, be to my brethren kind and good, the best I could. So I'll moving on, I won't stop now. I'll keep moving on till I reach the top somehow. Down on my knees,